a little bit about growing up on the reservation. So today we're going to talk a little bit about growing up on the reservation. Now, I enjoyed it. People have different stories about the reservation and different opinions. But the reservation, it's a very unique world because it's tribal. And every tribe's different, so there's different norms on every reservation. There's this one guy I knew growing up on the res, and he'd sit in his car every day. Would see him at noon or somewhere, sitting in his car outside a corner Merc, just sitting there, watching people drive by, smoking a cigarette, just hanging out. Ah, man. And I can't remember, we had a nickname for him. Chilled, never spoke to the man. As I get older, I kind of understood it now. Have a deeper understanding of things. Yeah. But man, I'll tell you about this. The 2007 Fort Hall Warriors, that football team. Man, that was a good team. It was a middle school football team. We got to play in the Bengals Stadium. They got to play. I watched them. I wasn't old enough. I was still in the Braves, right? The team below for elementary guys. I watched them, and man, that was cool watching those guys win that game. For the city championship and won it all at Pocatello. Oh man, the whole reservation was there at that game. Whole reservation. And when they won, that was such a great game. They got the 2007 Warriors painted on the side of a boxcar right next to the main road as you drive in. So you always see it. It's always up. And I remember after that, they'd always say, if you guys play hard enough, you can get your guys' year painted on the side of the boxcar too. Oh, all right. So that was always really cool watching that. Really good athletes came out of that team. That was pretty cool watching that. 2007 Warriors. Shout out. These guys are good. Good football team. Remember, we got new jerseys too. After that win, they got new jerseys. The tribe invested. Yeah, and the coach came down. I don't remember who said it to us. Oh man. It might have been Eddie. He said, all right, boys, grouped us all up. We're handing out jerseys. We don't want to hear about you being at some house party wearing your jersey because we've got your number and the police will come and ask us who it is and we have to tell them whose number it is. So we don't want to hear about it at no house parties. Don't be wearing that around. Only wear it on game day. That's wild, man. Telling a bunch of middle schoolers, don't be partying. We'll hear about it. Oh, man. When I was in elementary hearing that, I was thinking, damn, these guys are partying? I think I was like third or fourth grade. I was like, who's partying in middle school? These guys are wild. Got to middle school. Yeah, that was different. Oh man, that was funny. Just some of the stuff that happened. Yeah, but that was a good football team. Playing football at that young age taught me a lot. Taught me a lot about sports, teamwork. If you want to be good, you can't be good by yourself on a team. The whole team has to be good if you guys want to win. So that's what I really liked. Football. Playing football in Fort Hall, that was good years. That was fun though, fun. I remember we'd have one-on-one drills. Yeah, those are the best. Yeah, good program. I don't know what they're doing now. Haven't been up to date on middle school football since I was in middle school, right? Time happens. But I do see them playing every summer. At the end of the summer, season's getting ready. I see them out there practicing, training. So, yeah. Because on our res, there's no high school football. I mean, some years they have it, but some years they don't. They're just god awful. I don't know why. Because athleticism's there, but something's just happened, I guess. Track program. The track program was always good, though. The track program was always good. Really good runners. Yeah. Track program, athleticism, yeah. I remember this one time, I think I had to be first grade. I went to the high school track meet, and there's this guy named Bobby. Man, that guy can cruise. He was the 400 and 800 meter, and he went to state, and that was a big deal. Him going to state. The whole res knew about it, Bobby. Athletic. He could hoop, he could run, he could relay. Oh man, that guy was athletic. That guy can move. And I remember watching him. I was like, oh man, that was really cool watching him at such a young age. Him rip it up, champ out. I remember that. Because the surrounding towns around our res, the border towns, super racist. Still to this day, I don't know. Bunch of pricks. Super racist, the border towns around the res. Don't know why, they just are. I have an idea why. It's not us. But yeah, I understood that. Even when we go to state meets, especially Mackey, those guys, oh man, those refs, pissy, man. I remember watching my cousin I was in 6th grade, and he was in high school, and they were ripping everybody up, beating all the other teams. And we go to play Mackey at their home game. And I remember those refs were super dirty. And they're always grabbing the guys' butts after the play. I was like, what the hell? They weren't like slapping it like that. No, they were grabbing it. I remember watching that. My dad got pissed and went and told those refs quit doing that. And then they threw my dad out of the game. The cops had to come escort him out. Oh man, it was getting wild because those refs they're grabbing kids. Like, what the hell? I remember that. I was like, oh, that's not cool. I remember watching it. This just wasn't 1 or 3 times. It was a bunch of times. More than you can count on both hands. That's what pissed off my dad, so he went and said something. Those Mackey refs. Piss on them. Yeah, so, I mean, that was one thing. And then another thing. That game, I remember watching that game. It was, oh man. Now, this is more than 15 years ago. I have to recall some of the specific details, but is either districts or divisionals. I get those two mixed up. But it was the one that's right before state. Because you have your districts and then divisionals, or it's divisionals then districts. And I remember we just won one. And then we're going to this. And whoever goes to this will go to state now for the state tournament. It's a big deal. We've been beating everybody. Whole reservations in Mackey right now. One side's all Indians, the other side's all white guys. And they're yelling things at each other. The Indians are war whooping on this side, on that side. They're yelling racist slurs. It's going back and forth. I remember Jalen grabbed, I think it was like some type of staff that had a bunch of feathers on it. And he ran it across their side. And they were all booing. Oh man, it was an electric game that night. And then underneath the bleachers where all the kids usually play, gladiators, Coliseum, fighting it out. When we weren't playing basketball, we were fighting it out underneath the bleachers. Most nights. Those other than the kids were. But I got called up to the bleachers. I got to watch the game. My cousin's playing, and it's going back and forth. I remember my cousin was one of the top ranked in the state at the time. He's dunking it on people. He's leading it. Deadly player. And Mackey knew that. So they tried to shut him down by setting 2-on-1. They're like, all right, this guy's too lethal. We got to put 2 of us on him. And they kind of could stop him a little bit. They kind of could, but my cousin was just too damn good, too athletic, too groovy. He was cutting him up, still dicing him. So the next maneuver they had, the refs fouled him out of the game. Now, I think that was like either 3rd or 4th quarter that happened. And they're relying on other players. They were relying on other players to hoop. But when you take out the leader, it's kind of tough for the other guys to kind of rally around him, right? I remember that, and those refs were calling a bunch of calls on that night. I remember that. There was a bunch of calls. Most of them were on us. There was very few on Mackey. I remember that because so we'd start running away, and then some calls would happen, and they'd get pulled back points-wise. People were getting fouled out. It was a really tough game. And then my dad goes up, says that to him, and then they're like, oh, shit. Kind of checked him a little bit. My dad's solid. My dad was solid. He was a solid cat. Yeah, that was an interesting night. Ended up losing by it came down to the last point. So I think they got a free throw on us, some foul, and then they ended up winning it. Yeah, it was pissy. Yeah, I remember that though. Conway was the head coach. Great coach, man. That was a solid program he ran that year. Yeah. That was a good season. I remember that. Sucks the boys can't take it all the way, but it is what it is. games against Mackey were always, because I played them a couple times in sixth grade, middle school games. And it was fucked up because I remember we went, oh no, this wasn't Mackey that game. This was Lima, maybe? Opal? Oh man, one of those border towns on the state of Montana in Idaho. Way past Rexburg, way out there. I remember we went in there and we got told, hey, you guys have to sit in the bleachers, don't be wandering around. Like, all right. And we get there and then the cops roll up. What the hell's going on? And they grabbed one of the players, one of the older boys, and they made him take a breathalyzer test and do all this shit because some lady said that he smelled like alcohol, but in reality, it was just his cologne. And they did the breathalyzer test and they're like, yeah, this kid's not drunk. But how pissy is that? We're in middle school and they're saying stuff like that. And that's just some of the things that happen. I mean, I don't know why, but in Idaho, those border towns get really racist. I've been refused service at stores with my family. I was like, what? This is 21st century. What are you tripping about? You're either in, I don't know, people just get really ignorant in those border towns. Don't know why, they just do. Don't go there. I don't. Try to stay away from them. Try, right? But yeah, those are just some experiences. Every now and then the boys show out. Good basketball games. We have a really good boxing program, yeah. Yeah, really good boxing program. Well, until next time.